Welcome back to the Sapphic Gaze podcast. I am your host, Nisa, and with me as always is my co-host and partner, but not in a gay way, Ellie. Ellie, how's it going?
It's all good, Nisa. It's all good. I'm ready to discuss some fake dating and fake marriage tropes today.
Excellent, because that is our episode, of which, of course, I forgot to say. We are deep diving into the fake dating and fake marriage trope, which I'm just going to throw this one out there. Have you literally ever heard of somebody fake dating or having like a fake marriage?
One of my best friends has an event coming up soon where her ex is going to be with their new partner at this event.
Oh, sounds like a great time to fake date.
We did joke that this is the time we need to investigate if this is a real life thing, and we did joke that she needs to find a fake date for this event.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, where you don't want to go to an event by yourself. I think the only other one I could think of would be like in the US for like a green card, but if I'm being realistic, I don't think anybody's like rushing to get a green card to be in the US right now.
Yeah, yikes. I mean, my partner Alex is Finnish, so she has what they call settled status here, and so she legally is essentially the step before becoming a citizen. So she's a resident here for all intents and purposes. But there was a lot of jokes in my family and friendship groups that she was marrying me to be a citizen.
I mean, trying to fake marriage for like a British citizenship versus a US one makes a whole hell of a lot more sense.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot more easier people she could have dated to get the residency.
Ooh, self-burn.
Oh.
Okay, well, let's dive into this ridiculous trope. But, I mean, me personally, I eat a fake dating, fake marriage story up like a fat kid eats cake. I mean, they're amazing.
Yeah, when they're done well, they are amazing. Yeah, I just feel like it's that the market for fake dating is so oversaturated that you either have to make it really distinguishable and unique outside the genre, or you have to just do it so well that it stacks up and doesn't compare to anyone else.
Yeah, and for as saturated as like the market is, I feel like at least for the majority, I haven't bumped into too many that cover the exact same storylines. There's two that I have found that are so similar it made me angry, but overall I feel like in general they're all like bringing their own little twist to the trope.
I do know what one you're talking about. Would you like to start us off with the ones that made you angry?
The ones that made me angry. We're just gonna start it violently. We chose violence today.
We did.
So, as you know, the one that is probably my least favorite entry into the trope, and I think it's the newest one on my list, is The Love Lie by Monica McCallan.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading this, and as I was reading it, I swear to God, I questioned whether or not I was reading The Fiancé Farce by Alexandra Bellafleur. They were just so similar. And then eventually when The Love Lie did kind of deviate from almost the exact same plot line, it just didn't stick the landing, I don't think, on the two characters being together for real. And then the ending just left me wanting.
I mean, that really surprises me because obviously Monica and Alexandra are two of arguably the biggest Sapphic authors. Like, they are household names amongst the Sapphics. And I feel like for two authors that are so well known to have very similar plot lines, it's odd.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of to your point, is it is very easy to kind of copy, or not copy, to rehash some of the same storylines that are present already in the fake dating and fake marriage arena, just because, like you said, there's only so much you can do with a fake dating plotline. But I mean, overall, it was still, I mean, I still enjoyed The Fiancé Farce, so I enjoyed the Love Lie. It was just not one of my favorites. And then the other one that I had some issues with was Cover Story by Rachel Lacey, which actually, when you think about fake dating, fake romances, that one was probably one of the more original ones. In that one, it's obviously she a famous actress, I believe, and they hire her a bodyguard to pretend to be her girlfriend so that they can have a bodyguard with her, but they, like, people don't know in the public that she has a bodyguard, which Again, extremely original. I think my biggest issue here is that when they finally did start getting together, I did have kind of the question of, would a bodyguard have more issue falling for her protectee than what was present in the book? But then outside of that, also, I joked with you about this before filming, but I did read a fan fiction that I enjoyed quite a bit. It's one of my comfort fan fictions that is very similar to that plot line.
It was very, very similar to a fan fiction story I had written. And I would just like to say, obviously Rachel Lacey did it far better than a 17-year-old writing in her university bedroom. Objectively, the writing was far, far better. But yeah, the plot line was very similar. I didn't have a problem with the writing and cover story at all. It was more the plot for me that I didn't necessarily get along with.
It's one of those where I think with the fake dating and fake marriage trope, that initial reason of why are we fake dating really is what sets the tone for the whole story. And I just didn't get behind, like, okay, why do we need to pretend a fake date? Because all sorts of celebrities have bodyguards. They get filmed, like, in videos, they're present in pictures. Like, what's the big deal with this huge megastar having a bodyguard? Why do we even have to mess around with the fake dating? Like, come on.
I'm trying to remember, was it that she objected to having a bodyguard and she didn't want to be seen as having a bodyguard? Or was there some kind of event or something?
I mean, I believe, and it's been a little bit since I read it, but I believe is she had a stalker, and it was more about, like, she didn't want the public to know that she was afraid. And, like, I mean, I get that, but that's the thing is, like, all sorts of celebrities have bodyguards. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're afraid of anything. It's just you are a figure who is out in the public and everybody knows you, and having a bodyguard isn't even, like, that big of a thing.
Yeah. Exactly. The one I think did it quite well was Who'd Have Thought by G. Benson.
Yes, I have that on my list as well.
Because for the majority of the story, you weren't actually sure why the fake dating was needed.
Yeah. I love that aspect of it. Like, Rich Doctor just, like, puts out a Craigslist ad saying, I will pay you money to pretend to date me. And that's it. Like, every time she gets asked, well, why are we doing that? Well, that's my business. You'll know it when you need to know it. And that's all you get.
Yeah. You may be my wife, but I'm not telling you my secrets.
Exactly. This is completely transactional, but it's not a green card situation. I'm pretty sure that's all she ever said, is it wasn't a green card situation.
Yeah, I think so as well. And then it was only, I want to say it was maybe past the halfway point that we actually kind of learned why, you know, this whole fake dating needed to happen.
Fake marriage.
Yeah, fake marriage. But no, I loved Who'd Have Thought. I think that was that might have been the first fake dating story I read.
Wow.
Yeah, well, the first fake dating sapphic story I read. And I was like,
yeah.
But also then, you know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword because it set the bar so high for me. And then every fake dating one I read afterwards was just like, but it's not G. Benson.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to beat G. Benson. She writes really great books. But, I mean, I think there are a few out there that, in my opinion, can at least meet that bar, if not exceed it.
So what else is on your ones that were done really well?
Okay, so this one probably doesn't count, but I want to throw it out there just because it made me kind of giggle, because it is fake marriage, but it's not fake marriage in the way you expect it, and that's Falls from Grace, because it is fake marriage, but not that way.
No. Not between the two female love interests.
No, and I think that's why I liked it as kind of a twist is, so of course, you know, it's got your main character is pretending to be married to her best male friend so that she can go with him to, like, this secluded, is it Connecticut or Vermont?
Vermont,
this secluded northeast, like, celebrity's house and spend time while they're writing a new album. And I just love that, like, it adds a different layer, because then you're like, okay, well, now it seems like it's infidelity. And so it's kind of a different play on the whole fake marriage trope.
Yeah. I think, it was very original, and I loved the whole book. I actually ordered a paperback of it the other day, and my partner bought it for me for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So I've got a paperback copy of Falls from Grace.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about Ruby Landers all day.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We should just have we should start a fan club.
I'm sure there has to be one out there already. We can't possibly be the first people who are like, oh yeah, Ruby Landers needs a fan club. I could almost guarantee she has one.
We should just band together, make a super club.
The Super Sapphic Ruby Landers fan club.
Yeah, why not?
Goodness. You know, though, I'm gonna throw this one out there. Since you had brought up Who'd Have Thought, I do have a different one from G. Benson on my list, and it's Purposefully Accidental.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yep. I mean, again, another one that's not really, it doesn't live in that, like, stereotypical fake dating realm, really truly, as the name kind of implies, accidental.
Yeah.
And it's such a small subplot. It happens, I think, in the back end of the book, at least in the last 50% of it. And so it's never really front and center. And so, like, for me, that's probably one of the most realistic depictions of a fake dating situation, because it is 100% not intentional.
I mean, I wouldn't know. He DNF'd it.
That's right, I forgot. You're a horrible human being.
Sorry. Yeah, I can't even remember why. Again, I've said this on a previous podcast, that it was one of those ones, I don't remember why I stopped reading it. And I will revisit it.
I just told you, you're a horrible human being. That's why you stopped.
Wow. Where's the end record button? We can fight
I'm
off
not going to
camera.
tell you if you can't find it.
Wow.
You just have to sit here and take it.
Wow. We need to change your Instagram bio from the cooler half of the Sapphic Gaze to the meaner half.
I mean, that's basically what the cooler half means, right?
Oh yeah, cool and mean, of course.
Exactly. I'm a big bully. I'm one of those mean girls.
With the Princess Peach poster behind you.
Hey, don't hate on Princess Peach.
I'm not.
She's
it's just
kind
such...
of amazing.
just a big juxtaposition.
You know what? You don't get to see Princess Peach now.
Wow.
Oh my god. Okay. Do you have any others on your list? Because I feel like this is one of those where there's so many different ways to spin this trope.
I actually had too many. I had to cut my list back.
Really?
So the only one that didn't work for me was Cover Story, but the ones that I thought were really good were Who'd Have Thought by G. Benson, The Roommate Arrangement by Jay, Just for Show by Jay, Casting Lacey by L. Spencer.
Okay, so I haven't heard of two of those. Casting Lacey and then Just for Show? What are those ones?
You haven't heard of Just for Show?
No, what is Just for Show?
I can't believe you. This was actually one of my favourites by Jay.
Well, why didn't you recommend it to me?
I might have
If we
done.
were good friends, you would have.
Okay, Just for Show is essentially an overachieving psychologist called Claire Renshaw she's basically going to publish a self-help book that she's written, and it's all about a happy relationship and whatnot, but then her fiance calls off their engagement and she's like, I can't release this self-help book about happy relationships if my fiance has just dumped me. So she hires a fake fiance called Lana.
Goodness.
And book goes on, they fall in love, and it's actually one of the sweetest fake dating stories I've read.
Wait, is this one connected to The Roommate Arrangement?
Yes, so Claire's sister Stephanie is from The Roommate Arrangement.
That's what I thought. Okay, because that did sound familiar. Okay, that makes all the sense in the world now.
Yeah, so Jay has a series called the Hollywood series. And so included in Just for Show, there was Damage Control characters, Just Physical characters, and Claire's sister Stephanie from The Roommate Arrangement.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely remember hearing about that or reading about that within The Roommate Arrangement, which is on my list as one of the ones that I really enjoyed.
I did too, but I can't believe you haven't read Just for Show. I'm genuinely shocked. I thought that would have been something you're gonna have to read it, because you would absolutely devour that.
Likely I would. I mean, the fake dating is one of my favorites, even though they're all so predictable and very much similar.
But you kind of have this. So Lana is an actress, and they do like a casting call to cast this fake fiance. And Claire is essentially, she's Ice Queen-esque. She's not like a real hard ass, but she is quite like cold at the beginning. And then you see Lana, who's like, really outgoing and bubbly, start to like bring down her defenses. And it just had everything I love in a fake dating, fake marriage relationship.
It sounds good. Although I am reading one right now by Claire Lydon, Change of Heart, and it sounds kind of similar to that because in that she hires an actress to pretend to be her girlfriend for her parents' 40th wedding anniversary. And so, I mean, I guess to our point, they all are kind of similar.
What was the other one you said you hadn't heard of that I read out?
Casting Lacey.
Casting Lacey, I think you would enjoy not as much as Jay's book. So there's an actress called Quinn, and she is an actress on this like legal drama, and I think the ratings are starting to plummet a little bit. And so her publicist suggests a good old fake dating, scandal. And so Quinn and her publicist hire Lacey Matthews, who is like an up and coming soap star. And they basically agree that they're going to fake date and it will be beneficial to both their careers and all that kind of jazz. And it's really sweet because at some point Quinn gets injured and she has to stay at home, and Lacey decides to move in with her to like keep up appearances but also to actually really help her recover. And you see that softer side and the protectiveness. And I remember there's a scene where I think her arm's in a cast and Quinn falls over and injures her arm quite badly because Lacey was essentially teasing her, and then Lacey feels really bad and like scoops her into her arms and is like, I'm so sorry I hurt you.
Oh, good lord.
You would love it. I know you like to act the hard ass, but you would eat that shit up.
I don't act the hard ass. I am a hard ass.
Again, Princess Peach behind you.
You know what? Fuck right off. That's what I have to say to that.
Well, is a hard ass, but also loves Princess Peach.
I love video games, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, but a hard ass, I would have expected you to love like Bowser or like King Kong.
You mean Donkey Kong?
Yes, Donkey Kong.
But also, why would I love them? Because they kidnap women and hold them hostage, and that just doesn't seem right.
Okay, fair point. Well made.
Exactly. I don't like criminals.
Fair enough. Apart from in Sapphic books.
Yeah, I do have a tendency to enjoy criminals in Sapphic books. You know, one that hadn't occurred to me that did when you brought up Casting Lacey is technically Breaking Character by Lee Winters does have a fake dating component because they're trying to get cast in that small indie film. Yeah, and so he only wants to have a couple basically in it, and so they pretend in front of him that they're dating.
Yeah, if we're considering that in this episode, then that's one that didn't work.
Oh, I know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I love Lee Winter as a writer, and I love the majority of her books, but Requiem for Immortals and Breaking Character just did not do it for me.
Yeah, I know, but it's just a subplot.
But I thought that's where the issue was. With Breaking Character, you had, is it Elizabeth and...
Don't ask me their names. You know I don't remember these things. I am
Summer?
getting old. My memory... Yes, Summer, actually.
Yes. You had Elizabeth and Summer who fake dated to get Elizabeth this role on an indie film where the director wanted her to date her co-star, Summer. And Summer developed real feelings for Elizabeth. And Elizabeth used those feelings, knowing full well how Summer felt, to enhance their sex scene within the film.
Yeah.
It was just icky to me.
I know you're gonna deep dive into that in our Women in Hollywood episode, since that's more your forte than mine, but...
Only because I work in the film industry in real life.
Exactly. I have no knowledge of the film industry, so that's on you.
Yeah, I have to be careful. I don't want to get exiled or blacklisted.
You're gonna be a published author here shortly, so you don't need the film industry. It's not like books get turned into movies, like...
I actually think my book would have made a good movie.
Okay. So back on topic, though. Okay, I do want to throw out one that I recently read that I've been telling you that I recommend to you. And it's because the main character is just so swoon-worthy that I'm about it. So if you recall the age gap episode, one of the comments from one of the listeners was discussing the Billionaires series. So since they had recommended it, and I'm nothing if not an avid reader, I did read 3 of the Billionaires series, my favorite being, of course, the one that's about fake marriage, and it's not in The Proposal. And so when I read it, I was like, oh, this is just gonna be like The Proposal, like the movie. So not in The Proposal, throwing it out there, is by Chloe Peterson, and it's part of a 5-book like series where it's a group of 5 billionaire lesbians all end up dating women who are much younger than them. And so it's kind of that whole thing. So Not in the Proposal is the third one. It's about Reed and her assistant Mia. So what happens is Mia, there was a paperwork issue with like her work visa. And so because of this, Mia is about to get deported. And Reed, knowing that she can't function without Mia, her assistant, says like, I'm a billionaire. I'm going to try and do whatever I can to keep you in this country. They go down to immigration and they basically said, well, unless she's getting married, there's no way to keep her in the country. She's going to have to leave. She can't reapply for, I believe it was 2 years. So she was going to be gone from the country for a while. So Reed, hearing the unless she gets married, is like, hey, we've been friends for 6 years. I know you better than like anyone. Why don't we get married? And so you can stay in the country. And of course, the big issue there is Reed, even though she doesn't admit it to herself, has had a crush on Mia for years. Like, her friends poke at her like, you do know you have feelings for Mia, right? And she's like, no, I don't have feelings for Mia. We work together. We're best friends. That's just all it is. We don't have feelings. Mia, on the other hand, because it switches both of their points of views, Mia makes it extremely clear in her inner monologues that she has had this huge crush on Reed for years and years, and she acknowledges that. And so for her, she's trying to fight these feelings because she's like, well, Reed is my friend, she's my employer, she's doing this to help me. I can't lean into these feelings. And it's about like them coming together and admitting that they love each other. And I'm just gonna say, Reed, that is an age gap that works. Oh my.
Wow, if you got Nisa to like an age gap, it must be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, even because like there, it's employer and employee, which you would think I would hate, but the way they handle it,
I was just about to say, you went on,
good.
You had like a 10-minute rant, and it was like, why are bosses sleeping with their employees? No, yeah, why are bosses sleeping with their interns?
Yeah, it was, why are we fucking our interns? And she's not an intern. She is an administrative assistant.
No, I call bullshit. You ripped into me for saying how good Something's Different is when the dean of the university was sleeping with her assistant. You ripped into me.
You know what? I already said in a previous episode, I'm a hypocrite. So I'll lean into that. It's a good book, okay? They're basically on even keel. Mm-hmm. Did you believe that?
No, not even.
Okay, they're not on even keel, but it's still amazing. I will take no Reed slander.
It sounds like my type of book. I'm sure I would love it. I just can't believe you like it.
That just goes to show how good it is, because it goes against a couple of my like most hated tropes, and I enjoyed the fuck out of that. And even I thought Reed was swoon worthy, and I was all about it.
Okay, no, I do remember you messaging me, telling me how good Reed is as a protagonist.
Yes, and it has it leans into one of my other kind of tropes where it's the, touch her and die. Reed has a big touch her and die moment, and I'm like, oh my.
Oh no, does someone try and like deport her?
Oh no. Oh, it's worse than that. It's much worse than that. I definitely would recommend that one. Not in the Proposal. Chloe Peterson. It's book number 3. You don't have to read any other of the ones in the universe. They kind of explain it. Plus, I also didn't like book number 2 because Hayden is hot garbage, but we're not going to get into that.
So, do you think sounds like it's obviously based on the film The Proposal?
No, it very much seems like it hits on the beats, because at one point they do go to Mia's home country and she is introduced like to the family and everything. And so it has a lot of the same beats.
Yeah, you're going to rinse into me when I tell you this, but The Proposal is my comfort film when I'm sick. If I'm at home with a cold, Alex knows Ellie needs a blanket and The Proposal.
I mean, I can give you points for Sandra Bullock. And I mean, Betty White was a national treasure. May she rest, but I don't know.
I don't think it's a good film. It's my comfort film.
Okay. I was going to say, I have a lot of issues with that because of the age gap and, she's his boss. And all of that.
You sound like a fair weather film critic.
You know what? That's fair.
Yeah. You're like, I hate age gaps unless it's Reed.
Exactly.
I hate employee relationships unless it's Reed.
Yeah. If you read about Reed, you would understand. I will hop on the Reed bandwagon any day of the week.
I'm going to read about Reed as soon as I finish my current read.
You did that on purpose.
I actually didn't. I just
appreciate it.
I couldn't stop it once it started.
You're like, I got Reed on the brain right now. I don't know. Read.
Yeah, I mean, we are a sapphic book podcast. It's bound to come up.
This is true. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I enjoyed that one so much, truly. It just honestly is a credit to how good of a protagonist Chloe Peterson was able to create.
That's nice. I definitely will read it as soon as I'm done.
Nice. There is another one I want to bring up, and I want to bring it up because I had recommended it to you, and then you proceeded to give me shit about it, which I thought you were going to enjoy it. So I'm talking about I Really Do by Emily K. Hardy, which I loved the fuck out of. And you proceeded to just message me about all the things wrong with it. So
You agreed with a lot of my criticisms. It would be orange on my tag list if I wanted to discuss it.
what do you mean if you wanted to discuss it? I'm forcing you to discuss it. This is my chance to come at you for your opinion.
Okay, my issue with it. It was written really well. I don't have an issue with the writing or the author. My issue is with the plot. So Anna is a chef and Brooke is her regular customer. Brooke goes to her restaurant every Monday for like a year, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both hard crushing on each other this entire time. But Brooke is really socially awkward and doesn't want to talk to Anna because she's shy. And then Brooke needs to go home to her brother's wedding and she's estranged from the family, gets drunk one night and invites Anna, who she has never said more than one sentence to.
I think they have more than one sentence conversations.
Not one-on-one.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, so my first issue is you have just essentially invited a stranger on a 3-week, I want to say 2 or 3 week vacation with you from America to England. You don't know this person. Yeah, you might think she's attractive and you might like her personality, but you don't know her. Secondly, before they even fly there, Anna's like, we need to take pictures together and look all cute and coupley. And I'm just like, no, not really, but okay, fine. And then it's just, you had no reason not to be together. There was no reason for you to ever need to fake date. There was no reason that Anna could not date one of her customers.
I'm gonna throw this one out there, and I am speaking on behalf of really awkward lesbians who like to harbor, well, previously used to harbor crushes and not know how to talk to the person I was crushing on. There is 100% a reason why they couldn't be together, and it was awkwardness, and they didn't know how to talk to the other one.
No, I do not accept that, because how are you just going to be like, oh, I'm crushing on you from afar for a year, and then all of a sudden get drunk and be like, come to England with me for 2 or 3 weeks, meet my family, be my fake girlfriend. It's not realistic.
Of course it's realistic.
No. So you're telling me you being your socially awkward lesbian self would have gone up to your wife one day and been like, hey, do you want to come home with me for 2 weeks and pretend to be my girlfriend even though we've never said more than a few sentences to each other?
No, but that's because I wouldn't have wanted to have submitted my wife to my parents.
This is true. But neither did Brooke, and Brooke still did it.
That's true. That's not cool of her. Because her parents sucked.
They did. I don't have a problem with the writing. I just think that it was essentially making a mountain out of a molehill. There was no reason for them that they couldn't have just dated. There was no need for this fake dating malarkey.
Did you really just say malarkey?
Yeah, is that not a phrase in America?
I mean, it is, but it feels old. That's a bunch of malarkey. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
This is how riled up that book got me. I'm breaking out the old Britishness.
Oh my god.
When I think about all the other fake dating elements, they all had reasons that they needed to fake date. I really do. Just really didn't have a reason for them to fake date. And essentially because they had started being more coupley before they even left for England. When they were doing the whole fake picture photo shoot before they left for the trip, they were pretty smitten with one another.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it like that, though, it's kind of just a nice way to break the ice with the person that you're not entirely sure is into you. I feel like that's part of it, too, is because her getting drunk and her friends forcing her to do this was enough to break the ice on that. And so I feel like when presented with your crush saying, hey, come to England with me, you're like, okay, that sounds great. I'll do that.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I, again, would have liked it more had it not have been a fake dating relationship. If it was just a sapphic romance, I'd been like, oh, this is really cute. There was no need for the fake element in it.
True. I guess. You know, the funny thing is I feel like I should have more of a problem with it because I had said part of what, like, makes the fake dating trope or fake marriage trope fall down is when it's not a realistic enough setup. And so it's just one of those where I think in my mind, the reason I give it a pass is it felt like they were kind of friends. So it's a friend asking a friend to go with them and pretend to be like their girlfriend. But I see what you're saying where they aren't really friends.
They weren't friends. They had never had a one-on-one conversation.
Fine, fine.
Like, I think fake dating, in order to be successful, has to either be a kind of friends to lovers bridge, or there has to be some kind of transactional, monetary, or green card element to it.
I'm trying to think if there are any of the ones off my list that have a trope that's outside of those that you mentioned.
I mean, I suppose cover story, but
yeah, but neither of us really loved that one either as far as fake dating goes.
no. And I think it's just goes to show that the successful ones, in our opinion, not necessarily, it's not gospel, but in our opinion, the ones that work the best, there is an element of transactional,
Yeah.
give and take.
And actually, now that you mentioned that, now that I think about it, the love lie I had said I had a problem with. The reason I didn't think that one worked either is because these two women had like spoken only a couple sentences to one another because it's it's one of their ex's sisters and then them, and there was no transactional element to it. It wasn't even a friends to lovers. It literally was like a strangers to lovers.
I didn't put this on my list, but I started reading Good Spin by Monica McCallan, which is a fake dating friends to lovers book. And I DNF'd it after maybe chapter 3.
Ooh, why? What was the problem there?
I didn't like either character from the get-go. There was nothing redeeming to me about either of them. And it was essentially, I can't even remember what it was. Oh, that was it. Her friend hasn't come out yet. And she was having like a family event. I want to say in Hawaii. And she's like, listen, I'll pay for you all expense trip to Hawaii if you come and pretend to be my girlfriend so I can come out to my... No, that was it. It was like a college reunion or something. And I want to come out. I want your help to come out because I don't feel like I can come out without saying, here's my partner. Which, again, problematic in and that of itself. But anyway, yeah, I DNF'd it. I was like, it's just not for me.
Maybe I'll give that one a spin. That was intentional, if you couldn't tell.
If you didn't like The Love Light, I don't think you'll enjoy Good Spin. Or The Good Spin, I can't remember. It's probably The Good Spin.
I don't know. I mean, Monica McCallan has a lot of good books out there. I just feel like, by and large, she's not my favorite, but I do like fake dating, so maybe I'll try it.
Again, I might have just been in a weird place when I was reading it, and I was just like, it might be worth me repicking it back up and trying again.
Well, I mean, you DNF'd purposefully accidental, so we know that your judgment is a little questionable, but...
Wow. Says the woman that didn't like Something's Different, but did like the Billionaire series.
Okay, I didn't say I didn't like Something's Different, I just said that the age gap was a little problematic.
But it's literally the exact same scenario as, what is it called? The Proposal?
It's not. It's not in The Proposal is the name of the book, but it's also not the same because they were friends for 6 years. So it really is a friends to lovers.
But still a boss and an employee.
But they knew each other for so much longer. They weren't just a boss and an employee.
Okay.
There it is. My argument's making itself. That's why.
Yeah, okay, sure. Grab your whiteboard pen. Let's do a mind map behind you of all the reasons that this is the same scenario.
I can't right now because it has all of the passwords to all of our social media on it. And it also has my book ideas that I've been writing down. And then episode ideas.
Okay, we are talking about your book ideas after this.
No, we're not.
My goodness, you are infuriating.
I mean, that's why we're friends, though, so.
Yeah, the mean, infuriating one and the British one.
If you can't have a cheeky American as a friend, then what are you even doing with your life?
This is true. Everybody needs Anissa.
Exactly. I'm awesome, and I'm super humble about it.
See, now you just need to apply that confidence to your writing.
No.
We are going to discuss this later, young lady.
I am 10 years your senior, elder, senior. I mean, earlier you did say that the woman in a book was older and she's in her 40s, which I am not too far off from 40, so...
No, but I mean older in comparison to, like, sapphic norms.
Yeah, that's true. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I can count on one hand the amount of couples past 35 that I've read.
Okay, but don't you know that after 35, like, people just stop having sex.
I did know that. I'm counting down the days until that date. I'm just making the most of it right now.
Oh my God. That's not true. That's not true. Don't cut. We're going to cut that.
But yeah, no, it's mad. I reread A Breathless Place the other day.
Oh.
I'm just saying, it's nice to have an older couple.
You know how I feel about that book. I hate it.
Don't mince your words.
Okay, I won't. I hate it.
And I loved it.
It's just an inferior version of The Unfinished Line.
Okay, but which came first? So how is that a version of The Unfinished Line?
You know what? I don't know which one came first. I'm assuming you do. So I'm guessing it was A Breathless Place. But still, The Unfinished Line was better in every way.
Okay, we will leave that for our Breathless Place versus Unfinished Line episode. Table it.
I'll table it, but only because I know you're wrong. So,
fine. Were there any others on your list?
No, I don't. Well, it's worth mentioning again because it is a little bit. I mean, we kind of talked about it in, I think, our comp pet episode, but here for the wrong reasons, is again fake dating, but in a little bit of a different spin, where they're fake dating the guy on the show, but it's for social media clout that she's even on the show.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she falls in love with somebody for real. I feel like that's its own trope, even, where they're fake dating somebody and then they fall for somebody else whilst in the middle of this fake dating.
That's it for me on my list.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else. I mean, there's only so much ground you can cover with fake dating since it is basically the same plot line over and over and over again. But so
these are the ones we would recommend.
Yeah, definitely gonna put it at the top of my list for Not in the Proposal, despite Ellie giving me shit over that one.
I will read the proposal because it sounds like right up my alley.
Not in the Proposal.
What do I keep saying? The Proposal?
Yes.
It's because it's based on the proposal.
It's not. I don't know how to say this, but it's not.
Wow, okay. It's not in the proposal.
Yes, it's not in the proposal.
Okay. Sorry, Chloe.
Okay, so that is our episode on fake dating and fake marriages. If you enjoyed it, let us know. If you didn't enjoy it, don't let us know. I'm sorry. You can let us know if you didn't enjoy it. I'm hoping you enjoyed it. If there are any that we forgot, missed, or we didn't talk about your favorite, let us know. Follow us on our socials at the Sapphic Gaze Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. We're also on YouTube, Spotify, all those places that you can find podcasts. And that is all I've got today. Bye, guys.
Bye.